create legacy of impact and income through the channel of entrepreneurship and do more good in the world. You will get access to all our amazing speakers today and walk away with great wisdom and inspiration so that you can level up yourself and your business to the next level. All right, everyone who is ready to level up. Happy New Year, everyone. This is actually our first event for 2024. I hope that the new year has started off strong for all of you. And as you are heading in to new goals and new purposeful things that you want to accomplish for the year, this event actually is so timely because today I'm bringing in amazing speakers again, just like we do with each of our events. And they will share with you so much insight around helping you level up personally and professionally, which is so important. And we all are lifelong learners here, so there's always something to learn and grow. And I know that's a very important value for a lot of people that join us. So thank you again for joining us. And before I bring my amazing speakers onto our virtual stage today, I would love to welcome you again and remind you that the Life School helps purpose-driven leaders to build a legacy company that does good in the world through the operations of branding, marketing, sales, systems, and team. Our vision is to empower purpose-driven business leaders to use their life's purpose through legacy entrepreneurship. And then our mission is to become the most impactful global community in purposeful entrepreneurship. Our values are community, connection, service, and contribution. So without further ado, I would love to welcome on all my amazing speakers today and thank them for their time, and also thank them ahead of time for the amazing expertise and the journey they will share with us. As I always value when people share their experience, they share their knowledge with one another, because I always find that that's the way that we get to create impact. And we always love to learn and grow from one another. So for me, every time I run these events, I'm always learning and growing myself. So without further ado, I would love to bring up my first guest speaker today onto our virtual stage and ask her if she could share some of the most meaningful moments that led her to the work that she's doing out there in the world. Sarah Heggie. Sarah, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited to be with you here today. Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure, Sarah. Looking forward to getting to know you. And I always love to ask that same question because I find that it is so it really showcases the journey of how did you actually get to doing the work you're doing, and it uncovers a little bit of the story. I think that's really powerful for us as humans to learn from one another in that aspect as well. So same question for you. What can you share with us?
Yes, okay, great. So thank you again. I am from Egypt, Cairo. So yeah, I grew up there and I've been living in Europe for the last 12 years. I come from the background of academia, so I have a PhD, and I've always been raised in very highly competitive environments where you kind of work yourself to death, basically. And I was doing that in my PhD, like I was always raised. And then I kind of hit depression, and it was severe depression. And it's through the power of coaching that I took it all the way from severe depression and burnout into an amazing success that led me to publish a first author paper in the best journal worldwide. I'm also the winner of a scientific prize for the year 2021. And my research got a grant of $2.7 million. And I graduated from all of that, and I was like, wait a minute, why don't people know what I know about self-development and leadership? And then I embarked on that amazing journey of founding a business in Germany. And this is where I'm like talking to you from right now. And I am like serving leaders and their teams to level up their success in their life and build a life that they love and a career that they absolutely freaking enjoy. Thank you.
I love that, Sarah. I love your energy, by the way. It just, you can pick it up straight away when you speak, but also the fact that you just shared that through your journey, you also discovered your purpose. I think it's really empowering and inspiring. And I'd love to hear a little more around the topic that you teach or your own framework or methodology around the success part of how you help leaders level up their success and define their success on their own terms. I think that's where everything begins, because it's so easy to kind of just interject, models or maybe the way that success was kind of handed out to us from other people. But, I'm sure that you work with leaders. So what is it that you can share with us that would add value in this aspect or area based on the passion and the knowledge and expertise that you have?
Yeah, I have been like valuing a lot science-based evidence to do things, to develop processes, to create numbers and results. And what I could share today is the fact that I've discovered that all people-centric businesses, they're the winners out there in the market. Why is because they are from the heart to the heart. So they deliver to the people like extensive results in such short times and with incredible numbers. And I'm not going to talk about myself. I'm going to talk more about what you guys see out there. So for example, have you used Zoom in the last 3 years? If the answer is yes, then it would be good that you interact with us in the chat. I would just like to know out of curiosity if you've used Zoom in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, right? Okay, great. So have you used Skype in the last 3 years?
Yeah.
Yeah? Amazing. Now, you know that a lot of people have used more Zoom than Skype. And the reason why is, because Zoom during the Corona times, Zoom has had such an incredible success because it's been so focused on serving people inside of what they want. And they have created all the work cultures around people. So even though it's the same product, between Zoom and Skype, for example, it's the same solution from the strategy and whatever, but like Zoom kind of skyrocketed to people's hearts, but Skype kept declining or stabilizing, let's say, in sales. So it's very important to realize that in today's world, as leaders, we're oftentimes losing sight on what matters to people, right? Which is like, okay, we're focusing too much on the product or on ourselves building the product or, on the resources to nourish the strategies and the communication, but we're not focusing on nurturing the leaders that come up with the thoughts that, like help us basically provide a better world, solve real problems and real challenges out there, like I said, from the heart. So that's what I've been discovering throughout my way that led me to, with no experience prior in the field or whatever, I'm going to six figures business this year. And, six figures is not like a very cool number for somebody who's very experienced out there in the field. But the fact that I did it so fast and like with consistent effort, it's just because I've been really going to the scientific process of it. And the more that I could deliver something, from the heart to the people, the more that I see it works miracles out there. And that's the message that I, train my clients on. I train talent, executive talent, to just do very well by focusing on what matters to them and focusing on the purpose of serving others, basically. Yeah, their stakeholders.
Oh, I love that, Sarah. You're in the right place with that message here because and it just feels like fun. It feels so much fun when you're in service and you're not worrying about yourself, but you're worrying about contributing and added value and serving others. And you just remove a lot of those anxieties that we usually hear around the sales process, or maybe how traditionally we were taught to do sales, the traditional way. So yeah, that's powerful message. It's always about the service and the impact and the way that we get to add value, and then we don't have to worry about the rest. To me, that's what it means to be purpose driven, and then profits will always align with that, just like you shared your revenue goal there. And again, just like anything, we everything is a celebration, because you have to get to the 6, to get to the 7, to get to the 8, to get to the 9, so that you use that money to do more good in the world. So it's absolutely powerful. to be able to also learn new approaches on how to be even more intuitive. And we all have the answers as humans inside of us, but sometimes, we just we doubt ourselves, especially as entrepreneurs and CEOs, as we need to have some high level quality conversations or higher accounts or, perceived, authorities or clients that we want to land. So I can go on and on about this topic. I love that you opened up with that. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. I'll come to you at the end. Great job for opening up and being a champ as you went first. Usually, I know it's a little nerve wracking, but now when you serve, I always notice it never is about you, right? So that courage is always there for us to share our messages. So definitely, I'll come back to you at the end. Thanks so much for sharing what you just did. Um, Moving on to my next amazing speaker, Georgia Ryle. Georgia, thank you so much for coming on and looking forward to asking you the same question and getting to know you better. If you could share some of the most meaningful moments that led you to the work that you're doing today.
Okay. Thank you for having me on here today. So, I'm a spiritual empowerment coach and an energy healer, and my journey started with an illness. I had no energy, was feeling horrible, been that way for years, and finally was diagnosed with hypothyroidism and was taking the pills, going to the doctor, and things were not getting better. They were getting worse. So I finally ended up at a functional nurse practitioner. But the reason I ended up going there was because even though the doctor, we think of doctors as being the end all be all. They went through school, so they know everything. Um, I knew in my heart that there was something else going on with my body, and he was not getting to the root. He was just treating the symptoms, that's what they're trying to do. And so, what I'm saying is, I'm not putting my doctor down by any means. He's wonderful, but anyway, I ended up with a functional nurse practitioner and found out that I had Hashimoto's, and through supplements and eating better, training me on eating better and other things, I cured it. And my traditional doctor said, "There's no way you cured it." And I proved it. I showed him my numbers before, my numbers after, and they were just perfect the second time. And so that led me to learning more about health and eating better. So I became a certified health coach. And then in the process, I decided, well, health is not the only thing that affects people. So I ended up going through a life coaching school, several different life coaching certifications. And what I found out through all of those experiences are we're all very, very intuitive. We just don't recognize it because it's so natural to us most of the time. And our unconscious mind drives everything. I mean, we think from here up, we think that we control everything. We set our goals, we set our sights on things, and we're like, why is it not working? I set my resolution. I wanted to lose 20 pounds and it didn't work. Why did it not work? Or I was going to make $100,000 in my business. Why did it not work? I started off so good, yet it ended up being I got tired or I got distracted or whatever excuse we come up with, we don't make our goals. Well, that's because we have this unconscious mind that is driving us, and our unconscious mind's number one job is to protect us. And so every time something happens, we experience something that appears dangerous or that it's going to be painful because it's going to hurt us. Our body says, "Oh, let's record that. Let's make sure we never do that again because we don't want to go through that again." And so through the life coaching, I have learned how to, I don't talk to the conscious mind. I talk to the unconscious mind because that's where the power is. That's where all the decisions are really made. We think they're made here, they're not all made there. And so I've learned how to go work with the unconscious mind to give it another job instead of keeping us safe doing the same old, same old, same old that's getting us the same results. I give that part another job that's a more powerful job, that's more productive and helps us get to our goals so much faster. So that's what my dream job is helping people get past, I call it getting unstuck, or um, you've been working on something for so long and it's just like, there is no way. I don't know what the problem is. What's wrong with me? I know what to do, but I can't do it. Well, I help you get out of that little rut and get into the motion to go toward what you're wanting to do. So that's what I love. That's what I'm passionate about. And so that's what I do.
Georgia, I love that you're here because I love your unique spin with even how you even started. And thank you for sharing your health journey. I think a lot of people can relate. Your unique approach to intuition and how that actually relates to health and spirituality. So that would actually be my question for you, based on your experience. Like, how have you connected your own dots, or maybe from the experience of the people you've helped over the years? How have you connected your own dots between how does spirituality and health relate to one another? And I'm looking forward to ask you another question about subconscious drivers and how we actually start to that process of uncovering that. So yeah, if you can maybe answer that first question of the connection between spirituality and health based on your perspective.
Well, I'm gonna kinda answer that in one fell swoop because it all fits together so beautifully. So, our intuition is, it can be the thoughts that come into our heads or the visions that come into our head or that song, that keeps coming up. Why does that song keep coming up? Well, I don't know. Listen to the title or, listen to the words because it's probably trying to tell you something. So, you know I'm gonna bring my umbrella today. I don't know why. It doesn't say it's gonna rain today, and then it pours 5 minutes later, or I need to take a right here instead of going my usual route. Well, that's your intuition trying to keep you safe and, send you on a route that would be so much better. Um, but when it comes to our health, it's our body. So your intuition is all about our body, the seeing, feeling, hearing. And so when we really pay attention to the sensations we're feeling in our body, that's how I knew I still had something else going on in my body. That's how I knew I had it to begin with because my doctors just would do my TSH levels and say, "Your thyroid is fine. It has nothing to do with your thyroid. It's something else. You're just eating bad. You're not doing what you're supposed to do." Well, the way I got down into that was I was reading a book, shocker, and it said, "It's probably your hormones. Try these tests and let's just discover what it actually is." And so I had him do a ton of blood tests, and of course they weren't covered by insurance. I said, I don't care. This is going to tell me my answer now. And so when he did that, he's like, "Oh, your thyroid is barely functioning. That's what the problem is." I'm like, "Told you." That one number doesn't tell me enough information. So from there, then I was doing, everything the doctor said to do, yet I still wasn't. I was getting somewhat better, but then I wasn't. I would like get good for a while and then go backwards, and it just wasn't making any sense still. So then again, my body said, there's something else going on. The more I researched the thyroid runs a lot of our systems in our body. It regulates it's one of the regulators for, your body temperature, your heart, your blood pressure, your, whether you're diabetic or not, so your glucose levels, and a ton of other things that you don't even think are related to this thing up here in your throat. And so all of those numbers kept going the wrong direction. And I knew there had to be a root cause because none of this happened until I started until I found out I had hypothyroidism, and everything was getting worse, and all he wanted to do was throw another pill at it. And so, I'm like, "I am way too young to be on a shoebox full of pills. I've got to find the root cause of this." And so it was my body telling me, "There's another answer here. You cannot." He knows what he's doing, but it's not everything that could be possibly be done. There's gotta be another way, and so I researched and I found a nurse practitioner, a functional nurse practitioner, and the good part about her is insurance does not tell her what to do because she doesn't accept insurance. So she can do so much more, a much broader range of tests or things that she deems necessary, and thank goodness she did because that's when I found out I had Hashimoto's, and she took me on the food-based route to cure my Hashimoto's, and if you don't think food is medicine, I got news for you. It can do miracles. Your body is an amazing, amazing tool, and when you treat it properly, when you love it, when you treat it with true respect, when you give it the nourishment it needs, and when you get it moving, your body can heal so many things. I'm not here saying I'm a doctor and I can diagnose and I can cure, but I'm telling you, your body is powerful. And so listening to your body, listening to your intuition, it's very powerful. Your doctor has a lot of knowledge. Please don't misunderstand me when I say that. Your doctor has a lot of knowledge and he knows what he knows what he knows. But he doesn't know your body as well as you know your body. And so it's your responsibility to pay attention and to let him know, hey, there's something else going on here that we need to look at. So that's how all that fits together. It's very powerful.
I love how you shared that message through storytelling is very, very powerful. But what I heard from you saying is the signs. I also believe in that because I talk about purpose a lot. And yeah, there's a reason why there's certain things that speak to us. And the more we raise our awareness, the more we can start to connect those dots. And they're
Yes.
really there for a reason. It's not by chance that they're there for sure. And Georgia, my last question for you is around the subconscious patterns. So how do we know that there's something blocking us from the achievement of goals that we want to achieve, whether it's our health or other areas? So is there like patterns or things maybe you can articulate based on your work that we could start looking out for? Like, how do we know? What are some of the red flags? If we can notice them without the help of someone else, maybe that is, an expert in the area.
Oh, yeah, there's some really simple signs. So let's say you set your goal. Let's say you wanted to lose weight. I want to lose 15 pounds in 3 months, which is a very doable weight loss goal. And you start on your weight loss goal and you start doing everything, probably doing the wrong things that you shouldn't be doing, but you're still doing whatever you know to do or following another diet to lose the weight. Or maybe you're doing the right things, you're eating the right foods, you're cleaning up your diet, you're exercising, but you're not getting there because, oh, well, it's okay if I taste this brownie today. Oh, it's okay if I have that one beer today. Or an event popped up. Oh, I'm just going to take a day off today. And oh, I forgot to get back on my diet, and it's a week later. So we tend to self-sabotage when we're going toward our goals. That's always a sure sign that your subconscious programming is working. It's like
Mm.
you set an income goal for the month, yet you find yourself doing busy work instead of income producing work. That's a sign of self-sabotage. That's a sign that your body doesn't feel safe going for that money because there's a money story running there. So it's those kind of things when you set a goal and you're not able to get to it, whether it's health, business, relationship, career, money, spirituality, friendships, hobby, anything. If you've set a goal and you find yourself doing everything but that, or you get halfway there and just squirrel, you went somewhere else and you couldn't get back on track to go there, that's pretty much a sign that you've got a limiting belief or some kind of subconscious thing that's keeping you safe. Again, it's doing its job, it's keeping you safe, it's trying to protect you. There's some reason you're not supposed to get to that goal. So that's it's it's just a matter of noticing your patterns. It's not something I have to do. You can notice them. How many times have you been on a diet and you would lose 5 pounds and then gain 10 back? Or I set my goal to, let's say, $15,000 a month, yet I made 3, and that was the last day because I really put my work into it. You know what I'm saying? So it's those kind of patterns.
Yeah.
We just do them over and over and over. So that's the number one sign right there.
Yeah, powerful stuff, and we can pick that up as well. The more we start to notice and really see how we actually speak to ourselves in the various areas that we want to make progress towards, for sure. Yeah, a lot of that's very, very important work. Once we realize that, that's where we can get someone that can help us with shifting those on the other side, and understanding how to reprogram, so to speak, our subconscious with healthy serving patterns that will align us with the goals that we want to achieve. So thank you so much, Georgia, for everything you just did share with us, and all the inquiry of the questions I asked. Awesome. Moving forward to my next guest speaker, Rick Kanza. Rick, thank you so much for coming on, and looking forward to getting to know you a little bit better. If you could share some of the most meaningful moments as well.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm a transformational personal development coach, and I come from my background in my personal experiences, professional experiences, is what I do today in my coaching business and consulting business. And personally, early in life, I've overcome a lot of trauma. When I was young, I had intestinal issues, and it got very, very bad to the point where they were life threatening. And I had spent 3 months in the hospital as a young man, and very confused about life and not knowing what to do. And yet there was still something inside of me that says there's something more that I have to do in life. And I did survive that, and I did change my life noticeably. And it happened in about 2008 where my life fell apart again. So these are the personal experiences where I had a business and it went under, and my mother became terminally ill. So I thought, what am I going to do with my life right now? So my professional experiences basically are in psychology and neuroscience. And what I do is I work with entrepreneurs and I work with small business. And many of them that I work with come to me with issues that something in their one or more areas of their life is not working out. And what we do is I have an 8-week program that's structured on not giving more information, because I think what happens is we're overwhelmed with that. And that was one of the experiences I've had in my life, in my journey on learning and becoming a coach, is I would just get a lot of information and either see something that was short-lived or just never happened. So I thought, what is it that actually works where people can make lasting change? And out of that, I created, with a business coach, I created an 8-9 week program, which is transformative, meaning that you're not going to get more information. It's very interactive. And the goal is really getting results. And what I do is I work with people and say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do 3 things. We're going to get you really clear on who you are, maybe for the first time ever. And it's amazing to me still how many people are not there. And then what is it you don't want? We're going to find out exactly what it is that is not allowing you to get what you want in your life. Then what we're going to do is we're going to create a new map of reality and a goal and achievement on how you can actually go through a structured program to get the results you're looking for. That's pretty much in a nutshell what I do and how the people I help.
Yeah, I love that, Rick. Thank you so much for sharing your personal journey as well towards your newfound purpose and helping people with lasting change. I love that. It's so timely now with the new year as well. And we all are interested in achieving our goals, but also sustaining those, which is the next part, which for most people is also the next challenge, right? It's almost like scaling. It's like I see it, with business as well. You want to create a stable, foundation for your business, consistent cash flow, and then the next level of growth becomes scalability. I see that the same with when we want to make lasting changes in all the rest of the areas of our lives. So based on your work, Rick, that you have seen with clients, what are some of the things that we need to know around lasting change? What is it that you teach your clients? Maybe some principles or foundational principles, I think that's the right word for the question, that we can follow to ensure that the change that we have actually incurred, we can actually sustain it and keep it for a long time.
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, it's getting education about that and then actually putting it into practice. So one of the questions I asked people, I said, if you could understand how you got the way you are, how was your personality formed? How did you become the person you are? Once you understand that formula and those principles, you can apply it to transform your life in anything you want. And that's what the educational pieces come in. And I really do get people connected, find out who they are, clear. And then when I look at, okay, what is it you don't want in your life? And I actually use the analogy of a GPS. I said, if you're using a GPS, the first thing it's going to do is going to ask you, where do you want to go? It's going to want specifically where you want to go. Not that I want to go down the street, not what I want to go to a certain city, exactly where I want to go. And then the second thing it asks you where you are. And I said, if we could think of that in your life, is where exactly do you want to go and exactly where you are, and not physical means, but where in your life as a person. And that's where we get really into the subconscious programming. And then I teach people how to understand the subconscious, what your programming actually is, and how to utilize your conscious with your subconscious together to make those changes. How I do it is through basically psychology and science. We look at your thoughts, we look at feelings, we get those connected. And I think in all of that is when you find your purpose. If you think about it, is the most successful happiest people in our life, not just financially, in every area of their life, are living a life of their authentic self. That's it.
Mm.
So oftentimes we're out of touch with that, but for a variety of reasons. We have our friends, our families, our community, all these sort of things in our life that affect this. And I oftentimes, it's very common for people, and with those sorts of things, there's a lot of fear and anxiety around that. And I'm afraid to even be who I am. And I said, until you can do that, you will never be free. So how do we work around that? How do we create that? And I think what we're going to do is I want to teach you how to understand the principles and the formula of how to change your life. And what we're going to do is we're going to focus on programs about. And I said, you really need to look at where we are right now. And you're either going to be looking back in your past, you're going to be looking in your future. And once you understand that everything is right in the now, we often look at our 3D world, our as-is world, and we keep reproducing the effects of all that. I said, you don't use your imagination. If you don't understand, I said, think of how everything, I often hold up a cell phone. I said, where do you think this came from? It's just where do you came from? Imagination. So what we're talking about is you have a non-physical self that you're not using. And once you understand that in your guidance system, and you put this into a programmatic approach that's tailored for you, not everybody else. Joe's not the same as Mary. And what happens is that's where I see people going through the process of transformation. And it's really exciting when I say, once you're going through transformation, we're creating a new identity. You cannot be the person you want to be by being the person you are. What does that mean? And then we go through the exercises on how to do that. And then there's a lot of reinforcement, there's a lot of repetition, there's a lot of accountability. And I think the one thing, how you create lasting change, is by being consciously aware of what you're doing. And how you do that and changing your programs, these kind of things get more hardwired because we have the neuroplasticity of the brains, and the changes start happening. So you can get into all the science, and I think it's fun to do that. But I think most people, all they want is, I could talk all day. Once they have the experience, people don't pay for it, they pay for the outcome. And so that's what I focus on. I want you to tell me and show me how you're changing, and then everything changes in your life.
Well, Rick, you just inspired me. I think the transformation you give, which most people are becoming aware now, it's really the living a life in authentic purpose, in alignment with your authenticity. I think that's where joy and happiness results. Everything is there. It's almost like what they told us. Well, at least when I got into the field of personal development, that everything you want is on the other side of your comfort zone, right? And that stuck with me. I think now we're at that next level as we have all, raised our awareness and consciousness and have dived into this field for a long time. We realize that that's the next step now, right? Aligning our values, aligning our authentic purpose with the life that we want to lead at the end of the day. So I think that's beautiful work that you're doing out there, and a beautiful transformation that you are giving people. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thanks for having me. Thanks.
Beautiful. Well, oh gosh, this is so inspiring. I mean, every speaker so far is it's so inspiring, so educational, but also so things that we can implement. I love that, Rick, you mentioned that, because that is exactly where we are now. We don't need any more information. We need implementation, transformation, and results. So all our work has become that. And I love that we've actually raised to a level of maturity, even in the whole industry as a whole. So I think that's where the catalyst of change actually absolutely happens. Without further ado, I would love to invite my next guest speaker, Carla Jansen. Carla, thank you so much for coming on, and also looking forward to getting to know you a little bit better as well.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here. So thank you for doing this anyway, to inspire people, because that is what we need in this world. I am Carla Jansen van Roosendaal from the Netherlands, from Life Mind Creation, and I'm a burnout expert and mindset coach. And I work most with successful female entrepreneurs who have a family as well, because if I can help this female, or sometimes the dad, we help the kids as well. And we need to help these kids because they are as burned out as their parents are nowadays. So indirectly, I can help a whole family by helping one person. And stress is huge, and the big problem is it's getting worldwide in high levels everywhere. Burnouts are everywhere. People are getting younger and younger, getting burnouts, and there's a lot underneath of that. The way I work with stress is completely different than everybody else because I'm using technology, quantum technology from that. We're only doing that in the Netherlands so far, but I want to get this worldwide out there because Bruce Lipton, I don't know if anybody knows who Bruce Lipton is. He said it needs to get out because it can help heal the world. And why is that? Because, and I love Georgia Rick, you were talking all about the unconscious thoughts and beliefs and the enormous power of that on our total life. The great thing in this quantum technology is we don't have to think, we don't have to search, we don't have to take many sessions to find out what's really, really beneath it, because it comes out within a couple of minutes on a screen, literally what beliefs out of what time of your life are blocking you right now, are taking the energy away, or getting the energy out of balance. And so, what are they literally? Is it DNA? Is it from your mom, from your dad? Is it from somewhere in the middle of your life? But also energy. And I did love that, George, you were talking about all other kinds of influences on beliefs with the sickness and etc. So yeah, there's a lot of other things that really influence the whole health and wealth of our well-being, because foods, radiation, lack of nutrients, all of that has influence on how we feel. Stress is basically the most common reason for health and wealth problems and mindset problems, because stress influences your brain, it influences your heart rhythm, it influences the whole hormone system, and with that, every system we have in our body. So, by working on the stress first, reducing that, we actually open up our brain and we open up more the possibility to do something about all these old beliefs. Because a lot of people want to change beliefs while having high stress levels. And that's quite hard to do that. You can get there, but it will take longer than if you reduce that stress first, because your brain is more there. You're also not going easily into the unconscious beliefs. You can easily change those. So that's what my core business is about, to help and guide these stressed high achievers, because it's usually, I think we all know that the high achiever who is the most stressed, because we keep going and we keep going. And I did that because I got into a burnout 3 times. I did it really well. And after in the third time, I felt like, I took it easy, like my doctor said, take it easy and do fun stuff. Well, I was a single mom. I had 2 kids with an attention disorder. Take it easy is definitely not one of the things I can do. So the third time I thought I really need to do more than that. And that's where I found this heart coherence. And that really changed my life. I was there. I was ready after 8 years in a burnout. I was ready to really put my time and effort in it. And I made that commitment. I am going to do this. I heard that this evening already before. You need to make that commitment. And within 1.5 months, I was out of my burnout. And I realized the influence of the head and the heart rhythm and the thoughts and everything in your life, all depending on stress.
Yeah.
So I made it work. And say that again.
Such an important area that you help people with, and I love that you share that you help parents, because I can so resonate with your message. And my question for you, Carla, is around that, because sometimes as parents, we always would rather do more for others than ourselves. And usually when we know the effect that our own stress or levels of burnout or the way that we might be mishandling some of those emotional patterns that maybe lead us to achievement, if we don't really understand the correlation or how it impacts someone, a little human or big human as they grow up right next to us, that could be a great motivator for a lot of parents hearing our message today to start this process of awareness and really managing their stress better. So what are some of the effects that you've seen if we don't handle this or we don't get a grasp of this? How does this actually affect our children?
Because we are the example for our children. We are the big example. They copy what we do. So if we show them that we keep going, if we show them that we have a short fuse as soon as this little thing happens, if we show them that even if we're sick, we keep going, all those kind of things, we are the example. They see it and they copy us. And if we are more relaxed, we are also more open to connection, our heart connection, but also we listen, we see. They don't have to say things. We know, we feel it, we hear it, even because they don't say it. We hear what's unsaid. We're more open for that. And as a parent, I think it's the most important role to be the big example, but also to be there actually for our kids. So they know they are seen. That is a huge problem that I encounter. People don't feel seen, they don't feel heard as a kid. And that really creeps in there when they're grown up. In the scan, one of the beliefs that I see a lot is not taking care of yourself. We take care of everybody, but not about ourselves. That's the biggest problems. And I always tell about the airplane. If there's a problem and the oxygen mask comes out, you need to put it on first. So take care of yourself first. That way you can take care of others, you be an example for others, and actually you will have a heart connection, more joy, more fun, more happiness, and you
Yeah.
will thrive in every area of your life.
And you get to be more influential as a parent. A lot of the times we want our kids to always do better than us, and obviously we understand that they're unique and they will have their own journeys, but you get to be more influential while instilling those really important values early on. And if you are doing this work, then your examples speak louder than words. I know I learned more from what I saw in my family than what actually was told to me by my parents. I think it's powerful work that you're doing. Thank you so much, Carla, for sharing what you just did. I think you also have such a unique approach to the work that you're helping parents there. So thank you again for sharing it and for doing this work out there in the world.
You're welcome.
All right. Moving on to my next guest speaker, Cindy J of Visibilities. I love that Cindy helps with visibility. Looking forward to hearing a little bit more regarding how did she actually get to do this work and getting to know you better, Cindy. Thank you so much and welcome.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure being here, Elona. And I'm known as Cindy J, the Visibility Wiz. I guide entrepreneurs to create a fun and profitable business by utilizing strategies that align with their personality, beliefs, and values. So my journey, I was born an entrepreneur, I always say. Back when I was 10 years old, I used to like to go to the park that was next to the Los Angeles riverbed. I never had money to go swimming or buy ice cream or anything like that. So I would go to the riverbed, collect the golf balls that the golfers on the other side of the riverbed lost, take them home, clean them, and take them back to the golfers and sell them. So I had money to spend at the park. And anything with our business is about creative solutions to our problems. So I showed that at an early age. When the internet came about, I started selling pewter figurines utilizing a drop shipper. And then I moved on to being an affiliate, and I utilized Google Ads and SEO to create my business. And I was doing pretty good. I was just about ready to quit my day job whenever I had the big giant Google slap. and my business died overnight, just like that. So that led me to coaching, and coaching, I love coaching, and that's really what it was. Now, everybody kept telling me that I had to speak. This was back in 2008. Everybody kept telling me I had to speak in order to get visible, and to get clients. Well, I was working 50 hours a week, and I lived in middle of nowhere. It would have taken me 2 hours one way to get anywhere to speak. So I literally did not have the time to drive 4 hours to speak for 30 minutes plus work 50 hours a week. So I utilized all of my experience that I had from my first two online businesses to get visible. And what happened was I was able to quit my day job within 2 years. And when I started going to events, people started asking me, Cindy, how did you get on Huffington Post? How did you get on Prevention? How did you get on Fox? Can you show me how? So for a while, whenever I first started, I was a divorce coach. And I was coaching divorced women as well as business people. And then I became an accidental dating coach because I started collaborating with dating coaches. So my list became full of divorcees who wanted to date. That wasn't, I didn't enjoy it. I was making money, I was creating products for them, but it was killing my soul almost as much as my day job was. And so I decided to make the shift and go into something else, which, with the help of my mentor, we decided it was visibility. So I became the Visibility Wiz in 2017, and it's grown because visibility in of itself is not going to get you clients. People think, oh, if I only have 10,000 followers, or if I can get in front of 100,000 people, I'd have it made. But that's not the case. I had a client once, she had a lot of engagement on her Facebook group, and she was like, how come I'm not getting any clients? Well, she was a healer, she was a spiritual coach, but nobody was responding to any of her posts about her business. But she was a great photographer, and everybody was talking about her pictures. And I'm like, well, the people that are interested in your pictures aren't interested in being healed in spirituality. So you have to be visible to the right people. And as I've grown, besides just visible, you have to know how to influence people to take action. And this does not mean buy my stuff. This just simply means that you know how to influence people to take action that's going to help them grow and build their business and build themselves. One of the greatest compliments I ever got was from somebody who said, Cindy, I never could have managed my divorce and created a very happy next chapter of my life if it wasn't for you. And I never once spoke to this girl, never once. So she took action from my blog post, from my videos that I was doing. She took the action. And that's what we're all here to do, is to transform people's lives. And once we combine visibility and influencing others to take positive action that's going to change their lives, then the profits come.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Cindy. You actually consumed my question, because that was going to be my question. You answered it so intuitively. I love how this is kind of just working. But yeah, it's around the purpose of visibility and the way that we talked about service today, as we started with Sarah, right? And how to be visible so that you start adding value. And you have to be intuitive. You have to understand what people want, speak to them, right? Speak to the market that you're serving. I think, most people sometimes hide behind the content and think that that's going to be a game all to grow in your business, but it's always about those relationships. So the more you get to know your people, the ones that you surround yourself with, whether it's a small community or a big community, doesn't matter. The more you can create, innovate, and offer value in the ways that they are, looking for help or support. You just never know. Another business model could just grow out of conversations, right? And I think those are the best ones.
I would like to add something, because I just find this so vitally important. And I just briefly talk about it. It's the whole find strategies that align with you. I always say, if I had $1 for every time I've been told, oh, I have to be on Facebook, but I hate Facebook. I have to be on LinkedIn, but I hate LinkedIn. I have to speak, but I hate speaking. I could make a living off of that, really and truly, by how many people say that. Because people, there's great coaches out there, and they're like, hey, LinkedIn, this is a great strategy, and you can use this and you can make lots of money. But sometimes LinkedIn may not be the right strategy for you based on your personal beliefs and values and that of your clients. Sometimes it's Facebook, sometimes it's Instagram, sometimes it's no social media at all. I know seven-figure earners that don't use social media. I know seven-figure earners, even to this day, that only use X, Twitter, which is now X, that only use that platform. So whenever you find something that's really aligned with you, and you stop trying to think that there's this magical formula that's going to get you where you want to go, then this is whenever magic starts happening and you're having fun in your business instead of creating another job that you hate, which is what I did when I accidentally became a dating coach.
Oh, powerful, powerful. I could almost like think of one question directed my focus in my business. It was always about, not about all this other, where I needed to be, but it was about where are the people that I want to serve. And just asking that question focuses you so intentionally. So then you know exactly where you need to be, and you slowly grow as you start using the channels on purpose, for sure, and not let them consume you, right? Because I think that's the other problem with why most entrepreneurs started hating social media, because of the lack of purpose of why we're actually there, and the fact that we listen to shoulda, coulda, would. You should be here, you should be there, you should be there, you should be nowhere, you should be wherever the people you want to serve are. So if they're not on social media, then go meet them locally, right? I mean,
But, honestly, with all of my research, they are everywhere. I don't care who you serve, you can find them, with very few exceptions, you can find them on just about any social media channel. So in matter of fact, like 85% of people that are on LinkedIn are also on Facebook. And how many people that are on Facebook are on Instagram? That's going to be huge too. So we always so you want to utilize the one that you enjoy doing, because then you're going to be consistent with your actions. Because even Pinterest, people think that Pinterest, they can't make money with it. Or a long time ago, Pinterest used to be more focused towards women, but there were still like 5 million active men on Pinterest. And so I would ask my clients that had men clients, don't you think you can find like 50 to 100 clients a year out of 5 million that are on Pinterest? So they are everywhere. And so that's why I like to teach that you have to do what you like and then meet your clients. Whenever you're talking about what your clients want, which everybody's been speaking about, but you're doing what you like, you're going to be more consistent, and you're not sitting there doing Facebook Lives every day when you hate doing them.
Yes, powerful. Well, thank you so much, Cindy. We'll end at that because I know we can keep going, but beautiful information for sure. I think for a lot of people, alleviating, and maybe that could be their goal, right? How is it that I can create impact in 2024, and which channel will I double down on? Because doubling down your energy will give you a lot of ROI for sure. But sometimes we think we need to spread our wings, and that just dilutes our energy. So I love that you shared that. Thank you so much again, Cindy. And moving on to my next guest speaker today, Leanne Scott. Leanne, welcome, and thank you so much for being here. Looking forward again to know you a little bit better as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
It is my pleasure, Leanne. And the same question for you. If you could share some of the most meaningful moments that lead to the work that you're doing today.
So I have also, as Cindy, very much like you, also born an entrepreneur, and I have worked with small businesses probably my entire career, looking at how I can help people to really develop their voices and get known and get seen within their industries. And for me, the most important thing is that there's so many of us, just the people that we're with today, what you've got to share with the world is just phenomenal. And I think that sometimes we are so scared to share our message, and we're so scared of being seen on social media. But actually, if we can just change the way we create content to share our messages, so many more people can hear what we've got to say. And so for me, it was like, how do you help somebody who doesn't have a lot of resources who is trying to build a business, who's brave enough to build their business? How do we help them get their voice out into the world? And so through my time as a business owner, I've grown a business for new and expectant parents, and we basically built that from scratch out in South Africa. And we built it from 0 to 37,000 active subscribers with no paid traffic. And it was just about having that real passion for serving new parents. And I think that that passion so many of us have can really drive together. And I believe that when we work together, we can reach more people and have bigger impact. And so, I've done various bits of web design, I've done email marketing, I've done speaking from stages. But for me, my absolute passion is how do you bring it all together and help purpose driven entrepreneurs is through podcasting. And so I really niche down in specializing in podcasting. And the reason is that the more people can hear you and really get to know you and hear your ideas, bigger impact we can have. And you can have, using platforms that we have available, you have such an amazing opportunity to reach people almost for free. And so I think podcasting is that opportunity.
Yeah, I love the message of finding your voice. And I just know from your experience that the more you use your voice, the more clarity you'll have on what is it that you actually stand for. So I love that you through the power of podcasting, you're helping people do just that. So what is your unique framework around podcasting that you can maybe share with us a few of the principles for someone that has started it? I mean, most of the people in the audience have one and have realized that it's a powerful way to share our messages. And they might be looking to grow that, impact with their podcast. So based on your unique approach, I would love to hear how is it that you specifically help with podcasting?
Yeah, absolutely. So, podcasting, like I said, is so powerful, but it's a lot of work. So, you have to be really strategic in what you do. I find a lot of people, when they start, they invite their friends on. But if you think of any basic marketing framework, where do they tell you to start? Is with your ideal client. And actually, that is the key to making podcasting profitable. Is if you are speaking to your ideal client and you're reaching out to them in a way that would be quite scary and maybe overwhelming to do in a sales process, if you invite them to be a guest on your podcast, you have a really unique opportunity to have an intimate conversation with them and build rapport and build a relationship. The added advantage to that is that you are also showing other people who are your ideal client how you would work with them. So it's almost like having a live sales conversation on your podcast. You're really digging into their problems, into what they're struggling with, and showcasing your expertise in how you would help them. So, if you use your podcast very strategically, invite your ideal clients, your dream 100 clients onto your podcast, interview them on camera, and then share that message with the world, you are really able to share your message, share your expertise, and showcase how you can help. And that will help you build your tribe and build your inbound sales coming towards you. So I think that that is the number one thing that we can all do with our podcasts to really make a difference. And then the next tip I have is don't just have an episode, put it out on your platforms and leave it there. What you need to do is take that podcast episode and chop it up. Chop it up, snip it up, pull out the best nuggets and share it on your Instagram, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your X or Twitter, whichever one you're going to call it, TikTok, and really bring out those nuggets of gold that you will share in conversation because it will share your passion, your commitment, your excitement to be working with someone in a way that scripted video just can't do.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely. Work smart, repurpose, share your message in all the channels that we talked about already that you were part of. And Yeah, I like that purpose, because when you talk to your ideal client, you're so in tune with your market. Right? You get to hear from, the person, so you get to create right in the moment. It's no longer like, what exactly should I, how can I, what kind of content should I create, add value? It's just you being consumed in those conversations will help you. Sorry about that. Share your message in much more clarity, but also be able to serve in the way that people need to be served and meet them when they are. So I think that's a really powerful way that you just shared there, Leanne. And yeah, thank you again for all the amazing work you're doing out there, and also for sharing what you just did so far. And moving on to my next, last but not the least, last but not least, what is that? Imagine if I actually presented this entire hour, I'd be tongue tied. But yeah, all that are amazing. Thank God I have so much amazing speakers sharing with me today, the stage. So, Dr. Sarah, thank you so much for coming on, and looking forward to getting to know you a little bit better as well.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. It's so great to be in this room of so many like-minded humans. Georgia, my story is very similar to yours. I also have Hashimoto's. Oh, she jumped off. But I was actually at the doctor this morning getting my thyroid. I got an ultrasound and a CT scan this morning. But my background is, my undergrad is in kinesiology and health promotion, and my master's and PhD is in sports and exercise psychology. And in 2020, I was diagnosed with ADHD. And this is something I've had my whole life, but I didn't know until I knew. And then once I knew, kind of everything made sense. So I actually was a high-level athlete and found out 12 days before the opening ceremonies I wasn't going. So I was ranked 30th in the world. They were supposed to take 34, and they ended up taking 29. And I was heartbroken, because at that point, I only ever wanted to work with elite athletes, and got to do that experience. But also through my ADHD, very much realized that I only chased things that were fun for me at that time. I started my business in 2013, and I still do some personal training, and I really help people mindset, as Georgia and Rick said, and Carla, everybody's talking about mindset. But how we think about taking action and what our actual beliefs are going to be the keys that move us forward, rather than letting our subconscious just keep putting on the gas and bringing us into our safety zone. So since 2013, I've been coaching all sorts of humans, old, young, females, males, ex-professional athletes, people who've never done any sports and never really niched down. But what sort of happened is, now with my ADHD diagnosis and also healing my own Hashimoto's, those are the women that I really like helping. I have created 9 pillars to heal your body, and the way that I deliver it in my program is in a very ADHD fashion. So that means we do a lot of games. We do a lot of taking action while we're doing. I actually went to study motivation, not knowing that my brain worked differently. So I do know the science of motivation. I'm an internationally published researcher in motivation, but everything clicked for me once I discovered that my brain was actually wired and works differently. So what I do is, I still like to use the compass of health, but I just love to deliver that in an ADHD manner. And I also work with people who don't have ADHD. They just find it a little more entertaining than a traditional coach would be coaching.
Yeah. Well, I love your unique approach, and that is so true. It's understanding, that our how our brain is wired. I think it's part of self-exploration, and that then we can take the right actions and align, the things that we do with the way that it will give us joy, and with the way our actual brain works. So, Sarah, what are those? You just intrigued me with the principles that you share with your clients. What are some of those principles? If you could maybe quickly just give us a recap, so we get a better idea around your own unique approach.
Yes. So with ADHDers, we are motivated in some different ways. So one of them, very famously, is body doubling. And you don't necessarily have to have it in person. You can, I do this with my sister once a week. We both show up on Zoom. We say what we're going to do. We set a timer and we do it. Sometimes having someone in the room with you, whether you're going to tell them what you want to accomplish or not, is great. But sometimes if you just have your significant other in the room with you, we tend to be motivated externally a lot more than a neurotypical person. Another thing is we love novelty. So if you can make something new and exciting, that's going to pique our brain. Another thing that I learned very much from my PhD dissertation is for normal people, it's great to have a goal and then work towards that goal and motivate yourself to get a certain thing at the end. With ADHDers, even just saying it out loud or telling someone about it or writing it down, we kind of get the same spike in dopamine that other people are working towards to get when they get the goal. So often we want to motivate ourselves while we're doing something boring. Okay, because if we just say we're going to do something, we often stop taking action towards it because in our brain, we already got the happy chemical. So a really good trick is if you have to do something, If there's something you want to accomplish, it's a little bit challenging, sometimes motivating yourself while you're doing it. So if that's giving yourself a reward or listening to your favorite podcast or watching a recording of this while you're doing the hard thing is really beneficial because often it's starting that action that's very challenging for our brain. And also transitioning tasks is really challenging for our brain. So I love to say also theming your days so that in a bigger thing as entrepreneurs, like we have stuff all that we can do all day long, but maybe let's say Monday is going to be your social media content creation day. So you can still have different categories in there, but you've got one bigger theme in your mind. So you're not wasting as much energy being like, well, now I have to do social media and now I'm doing my podcast thing and now I'm doing. So I think theming your days will be very beneficial. You'll lose less energy that way, motivating yourself while doing, finding novelty. If you can gamify anything, that also makes it easier, and body doubling. Those are, I would say, my 5 top tips for HDRs.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I think that was very enlightening, even for someone that might not, struggle with that, or someone that has somebody that, their brain works that way. I think it's really empowering to even hear that, those are some other ways that we can learn and grow and motivate ourselves for sure. So again, thank you for all the amazing work you're doing. And we actually have reached the end of this event. So I'd love to go back to each of the speakers and get them to share with us their one word for 2024, and also where is it that people can continue the conversation with them. So I'll start with Sarah again.
Okay, so my one word would be abundance. So as we've all seen, it's amazing how many people are out there willing to share their stories and make the world a better place. So abundance. And people could find me on LinkedIn. I have a Fiverr account also. So I'm going to share the links after we're finished here. So thank you so much for having me again. And thank you for starting with Sarah and ending with Sarah. This was great.
Thank you so much. I'm known for patterns and processes. Thank you so much, Sarah. All right, Georgia. No, Georgia, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I was trying to find my mouse. My word for 2024 is creation. So, because with creation, we can do so many things. Create new programs, create abundance, create health. So, creation.
Love it. Where is it that people can continue the conversation with you or connect with you further?
I'm on Facebook and I'm on LinkedIn. And I also have a website, GeorgiaRyle.com. So it's GeorgiaRyle.com.
Beautiful.
So I'd love for you to book a call and talk with me.
Absolutely. I will link all the ways to connect with the speakers also underneath the summit. So don't worry, you'll be tagged everywhere, and for easy access, you'll get all the links as well. So thank you so much, Georgia. And Rick.
Oh, my word is energy, because everything is vibration. And once you understand that and all the dynamics of that, everything changes. So yeah, I'm also on Facebook, and my landing page, my website is My Rewired Mind, MYRWIR mind.com. So, and I appreciate the time and wish everybody a happy and abundant new year.
All right, beautiful. Likewise. Carla.
My word would be miracles. We never expect miracles, but they're there. If we are open for them, they will be there. And people can reach me under my name on all social medias. And my website is life-mindcreation.com.
All right. Thanks so much, Carla. Cindy.
My word is simplicity. And you can find me on most of the social media channels or visit my website, cindyjholbrecht.com. All of my, if you just Google Cindy J, the Visibility Whiz, you'll find me everywhere.
All right. Thank you, Cindy. Leanne.
My word for the year is consistency, because you have to be consistent in the way you share your message. We get bored of our own message before any of our market does. So it's consistently sharing who you are and what you stand for. And if anyone is interested in a fuss-free podcast launch checklist, it's the checklist that I use with each of my clients. Feel free to DM me on Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook. I'm always happy to share it. All you have to do is say podcast launch, and I'll share the very same checklist that I use with each of my clients for a successful launch. So.
All right. Thank you so much for the generous gift as well. Sarah?
I go against the grain, and my word of the year is no. I truly believe by saying no to something that's not serving you, you're saying yes to something bigger. So I'm working on my no for this year. You can find me all over social, but the easiest is to go to my website, DrSara.com.
All right, beautiful. And my word for 2024 is strategic partnerships. So I want to thank all my amazing speakers for joining us today. I want to thank you for watching, and thank you again for always choosing the Life School to connect with each other and build genuine, healthy relationships. I think at the end of the day, this is actually the game of helping one another and building relationships. Thanks so much for watching. And if you'd like to be also one of our community experts, I will play a video for you so you can get more information around that. Thank you again, and Happy New Year, and I'll see you next time with another event. Bye, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye.
I would invite you to join us as the community expert at the Life School Global Community. As a community expert, you will be participating in our monthly speaking events that we host for our community. You'll be an ongoing contributor to our global magazine. You will be warmly connected and introduced to other purpose-driven CEOs and entrepreneurs. You'll also be connected to amazing speaking opportunities, paid and also free speaking opportunities with other amazing communities. And this way, you'll increase your brand and visibility. You will build trust faster. But most importantly, you'll be part of our community that's always growing in over 30,000 entrepreneurs on our social media channels and also on our large contact list and network, and also with our partnering high-level communities of entrepreneurs and business leaders. I would like you to go right underneath the website on this video at Elona Lopari Coaching/events to find out more information on what this offer entails, and also if this is the right fit for you. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the other side as our community member.